what's up, all you cool kids? This is Stacy Collins of TsunamiRose.net, coming at you live from my craft room here in Las Vegas, Nevada, as I do Monday through Friday, where you jump journal content and videos. So if that's what you're into, please subscribe. Give me a little thumbs up on this video; it would really help me out. I pretty much post a video every single day. So, you guys, hello. I am continuing my Christmas a week, getting ready for Christmas 1 week a month situation that I've been doing pretty much this whole year. Hi, Miss Jude, how are you? And so today, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be working on turning these junk journal covers into actual journals with my new chipboard pieces from Amazon, which are hopefully going to work as good as I hope they will. Hi, Miss Patricia. How are you? But this afternoon, I went ahead and I made a couple of these string quilts live here on my channel. And we are basically going to do, I basically did my regular technique of turning fabric into paper so that I can use this to cover my chipboard. And I've done that for pretty much almost all of them. I believe there's 6 covers, if I'm not wrong. There should be 6 covers. So I'm going to show you how I made my fabric into paper. I do this all the time for my journals. This is like basically my go-to technique for making my journal covers. There goes my glue. Okay. So here's what I have, which is what I started with. I sewed my strips of fabric onto a foundation paper, which in this case was tissue paper. And again, you can watch the video for that. Or you could just look up string quilt here on YouTube and you'll see many examples, possibly even easier ways than how I did it. I don't know. I'm just working with what I got. I'm not a professional, but this is fun. And even as I'm not a professional quilter, I've never actually finished like a blanket or anything in my life. I just really like to use the techniques to make journal covers. It's been a number of years now that I've been doing this, and I really enjoyed it. Perhaps I will make a quilt one day. Perhaps. Hi, Miss Jen. Hi, Miss Beverly. How are y'all? Patricia Jude says she feels like a Kit Kat. Okay. Sometimes, I think my cat is hungry. Oh, my cat is hungry. Here's about his meal time. Give me 1 second, guys. I know he's looking for food. Boo-boo, come on. One moment. I'll be right back. Give him a little wet food. Oh my God. Okay. Sorry, that cat was going to start crying. What are you doing, Boobish? Go get your food. Okay. So you make the string quilt here, whatever size you want, and you can use, I did this on tissue paper. You could use a phone book page, lined paper, tissue paper. You can also use the packing paper that I do. Okay, so after you do that, now we have this piece of fabric. So what we're going to do is turn this into paper. So I'm finally working on my 35 yards of heat and bond roll. This is the roll to end all rolls. basically what this is iron-on adhesive. And I love it so much. I buy it 35 yards at a time, okay? You can buy it at Walmart or at any of the craft stores. I think they all carry it. I just paper cut myself. Anyways, it's comes with this whole thing of plastic here. It is light soluble iron-on adhesive. And basically it just allows me to glue my fabric to the paper. Okay, so I'm on my felt ironing board. I'm also on top of like 3 priority mailboxes so that way I don't hurt my cutting board underneath. And let's see. There's 2 sides to the heat and bond. There is a bumpy, shiny side, and then there's more of a matte side that is not shiny or textured at all. See how this side right here is textured? It's like shiny and textured, and this side is not. Okay. So, here we go. We're good. I could cut this a little bit. Oh, gosh. I'm just getting caked here. So, I want to glue the back of my fabric to the shiny, textured side of the heat and bond. Okay, thank you so much, Miss Jude. Okay. Then you're going to need a piece of parchment paper. Sorry, I'm feeling to make sure there's no glue on it from all the other journals I've made all day. Okay. Like I said, this is iron-on adhesive, so you will need your iron. Now I have my iron set to the hottest setting. I'll go ahead and leave it on one spot for about 30 seconds. Pick up the iron and then move it. Very important that you don't, at this point, that you don't glide your iron around. You want to pick it up and then place it down. Because the adhesive kind of becomes liquid at this point, and it is on plastic, so it slides, or the fabric will slide around. So don't slide it around. Pick up your iron and place it down. Again, about 30 seconds on each part. Hi, Miss Vanessa. How are you? I go over each part a couple times. And you want to make sure, be wary of the edge here, because that also helps to melt. And I'm just using a regular old household iron here. And now I'm going to move up a little bit. I wanted to save y'all the trouble of seeing me do this 6 times over. It's kind of a boring part. It happens. But it is kind of a boring part here. We're just melting glue. Again, I'm on top of a couple of boxes here. This will kind of help, because sometimes I don't want to have the iron or heat on top of my cutting board, but sometimes I don't want to keep moving around stuff. So maybe this will be a nice. I need to add maybe more cushion to this here wool tabletop ironing board thingamajiggy. Try to melt the adhesive here. Again, I'm going to go over the same parts a couple times. Just want to make sure that the glue and the fabric have been adhered. And that takes a minute sometimes. Oh, that little boy. My little Kit Kat, he was passed out asleep. He's so funny. Okay, so if this print is really hot, I'll flip it over, and sometimes I'll even go over on the back of it. Just a couple times like that. Oh, you get your stitches out of your hand on Monday. Yeah, it does take a long time to heal, I know. Ugh. But as much as you want to, you gotta rest it. You gotta rest. As long as they tell you to, you must rest. Okay, so this one is done. At this point, like I said, it's pretty hot. Well, actually, right here, I can tell right here, it hasn't adhered. Maybe it was just the design on the fabric. Now it is on the fabric. Oh, you guys, I'm so excited. I guess I'm going to a last-minute trip to Ensenada this weekend. My dad was like, your grandma's sister is in Ensenada, let's go. I'm like, okay. So I'm excited to see some nice fresh weather. Might as well be California, so I'm excited. Ensenada. I'll probably just be at somebody's house the whole time, but still, it'll be nice weather. It'll be nice weather. I'm off to the side and I'm flapping it upside down so it cools down. Once it cools down, you do have to check because sometimes the glue will get transferred onto your parchment paper. But you can feel it and then you just kind of scratch it off. Yeah, you just scratch it off like that. Can you do this with Heat and Bond regular? You can use this with Heat and Bond Ultra Hold. Heat and Bond Light allows you to stitch through it, and Heat and Bond Light stitches. Heat and Bond Ultra Hold does not. So if you don't plan on doing little stitches like this, if you don't plan on sewing in your signature by machine, though I think I've done it before with machine too, and I think I found that Ultra Hold I could only stitch straight stitch or just straight stitch. Straight stitch will work, so if you want to sew in your signature through the sewing machine, it'll work. If you are just using it for the cover, you don't plan on sewing on it at all, you can use Ultra Hold. Get this here. So I'm taking off this, and this is now basically a piece of plastic. So if you do buy this stuff, I would suggest that you reuse this as a, like, you can paint on it, you can use it as a, you know, a surface protector. I suggest reusing it because as much as you purchase, you'll get this much plastic out of it. So let's try and be a little mindful with that. Try and reuse this. For now, I don't need to have so much of it. But I have so much of it already on the backup to use. Again, I'll glue on it, I'll paint on it, I'll do a lot of things on it. Let me see here. I was going to get my sticky notes out. Let me give you guys the link to the Heat and Bond Light here. One moment. Here it is. And this is for 5 yards. This is the same stuff you can find at Walmart and, like I said, other craft supply stores. Okay, so now that we have made basically our fabric into a gigantic sticker, we are going to adhere this fabric glue thing to some packing paper. And packing paper is basically just what it sounds like. It is paper that you use to pack things. So your dishes, you know, maybe like a picture frame or something. It's usually in the moving section. That's where it is at Walmart, where I buy mine. It's also called, I just found out, it's also called newspaper print. Newspaper paper, basically. And it's just really light, but it is thicker than tissue paper, lighter than printer paper. That's how I would describe it. Packing paper, that's what it's called. I've also actually even seen it at the dollar store. So keep an eye on that. So now we're going to adhere this to the packing paper. At this point, you can move your iron around because you're no longer on a plastic paper roll, whatever. Now your fabric and the glue won't roll around. They still want to make sure I kind of concentrate on certain areas. So as soon as I kind of get it stuck or kind of get it adhered, I'll flip it around and I'm going to, I usually like to work on the back of whatever I'm putting the heat and bond to, because the adhesive is in the back of it. So I want it's easier access in the back to melt the glue. So I'm just gonna work on melting the glue here on the back. Daisy, that is cool paper. I'm using it. You said, yeah, I did. It's packing paper. It's packing paper. You don't have it down over there? Oh. It's called newspaper paper, newspaper print paper. Look that up. Maybe it goes by a different name. I don't know. But I started using it because I sometimes use sheer fabrics. And so the original tutorial that I've seen about this heat and bond is by Zoe Tofield. And she does the same exact thing with her fabric covers, except she uses tissue paper. And I guess I use a lot of very sheer fabrics. So I was like, what can I do? Because I'm not going to sit there and paint this cereal box. I could paint it white and then do this whole step, but that's just another step. So I said, I think I'm going to add this packing paper instead. I already had this stuff because of my, I pack stuff up. And then I was like, hello, use the packing paper. And it pretty much added like a layer of opacity to my products, which I appreciate. Okay, so now we got this. So let me put my felt pad away one moment. Put some stuff away. You know what? I'm gonna grab some ice cream. One moment. Okay, sorry, I've been like craving this ice cream since I bought it. Okay, so now we have our fabric adhered to paper, and now we're working on a sheet of paper basically. Okay, So now I need to cut this out of here. In the olden days, we used to get paper. Right? Crazy idea. Okay. So. I have this ruler because I use this technique so much. If you don't have this ruler, alternatively, you can use the Sizzix plate. You know, the big long plate that comes with your Sizzix if you have that. I use that for a long time. And if you're going to work with fabric junk journal covers of any kind, I do suggest that you purchase a rotary cutter and a small cutting board. Just makes life much more easier. Much more easier. Okay. I love my ruler. I have been so happy with this purchase ever since I got it. It wasn't cheap, but I love it. I honestly do love it. Oh, come on. Okay, so now, turn off my iron because I don't need it no more. Okay. Now, I need to add on my little stitches in between the seams. So, let me get my sewing machine here. And I'm just going to use a simple zigzag stitch. I'm using white thread. I'm going to use one of my favorite lengths on my zigzag stitch, which is 2 long and 2 length and 3.5 width. No, 5 width. 5 width. 5 width. Let's just do this real quick here. Hopefully it's quick. Even the tissue paper stamped on it. Oh, you don't have tissue paper up there? No tissue paper? What? Zigzag stitch I can do nice and fast. Yep, but I use what you have. It's better quality, is it? Wow. It's not even the good stuff, Jude. Targets, I had some really cute napkins. But I had to tell myself, like, you have enough napkins, like, stop. Last thing I need are napkins, fabric, and beads. My thread fell out. Hang on, my thread is like stuck somewhere. This is when a seam ripper is a tool. My thread is like wrapped up in here, so I can just cut it off. Trying to get this last little piece of thread out. Seems impossible. Okay, there we go. Okay. Let's try this again. There we go. There we go. You are good, Miss Vanessa. Okay. We're about halfway through here. This one is going by so fast because the other ones were kind of fancier stitches and I had to go so slow. Okay, okay, okay. And I might get a bit of ice cream. Okay, a couple more stitches and then we'll work on the actual cover part. Okay, one. Okay, we're done. Okay, so now that I have this done, I need to cut out the threads because they get annoying. Don't need them, don't want them. just get glue on it. They'll just be a mess. We don't need them. Sound of the sun. Hello. Christmas already. I have been working on Christmas stuff about 1 week out of the year, 1 week out of a month since Christmas. I kind of never finished Christmas, so this year I said instead of starting Christmas in like November and calling that early, I'm starting getting ready for Christmas in January. It's just because I'm that slow. Honestly, I am that slow. Okay, so we got my quilt cover or whatever it's done. I have cut off the threads, except for these ones that I didn't notice. And now we're ready to make this into an actual cover. Okay, let me make sure this is one of the bigger ones. Is this one of the small ones or one of the bigger ones? Oh, it's one of the small ones. Let me trade that one up for a bigger one. I should have made it bigger because I should have made it bigger than that one. What you want about 1 inch all the way around. We will whittle it down, but that's what you want to start with so that you don't feel wrong. Like sometimes I'll make it crooked or something, and so then I don't have enough space here. But if I have a bigger spot, then I'm less afraid to make mistakes, right? Okay, so let me, what I was gonna do, this is the first time I'm using this chipboard. This is 50-point chipboard from Amazon. Let's see, Daisy, does your needles and the sewing machine stuff up every now and then? And when do you change the needles doing the journal covers with the heat? I never really get any gunk up in my sewing machine, in my needle. It doesn't really happen. But I change the needle out when something starts going wrong, like if it's skipping stitches, mostly if it starts skipping stitches, and I've already once it starts skipping stitches or having problems, I will rethread it, redo the bobbin. If that doesn't fix the problem, I'll clean it out. I'll open up the sewing machine and clean. Sometimes just cleaning the lint out will work with the issue. And if all of those steps fail to fix the issue, I will change the needle out. And usually that fixes the whole issue. Okay, so I'm using this chipboard. Normally, I would use cereal boxes. And normally I would I would use 2 cereal boxes. So if you look at my old videos, I set the cereal box down, the side that has the print on it. Then I would glue 2 of them together. However, this time I am going to be using this chipboard, which I bought on Amazon. It is about 50 point, something about 50. The thickness is 50 chipboard. Okay, so this is my first time using this. So basically, I'm cutting a couple of steps. I don't have to sand down chipboard. I don't have to glue chipboard together. It's already double the thickness of cereal. A cereal box. This is also my first time using it. So, well, I'll let you know how I like it. Still, it's my first time using it. I want about 1 inch. And right here, I'm just marking where I want that cover to go because that's where I'm going to glue it down. So first I gotta get glue on it. So let me get glue on it. Okay, I didn't even explain the size. So for my junk journal covers, the chipboard that I bought is 8.5 by 11. So basically, this is the size of the whole chipboard, 8.5 by 11. I cut them in half, so 5.5 by 8.5 is the size of each cover. And then a second piece of chipboard, I cut out a spine, and I cut out the spine to be 2.5. That is just the size that I prefer for my spines. I do 3 signatures, and 2.5 seems to be my favorite size. So that's what I went for. So, and I was able to cut these with my Precision Fiskars rotary cutter, which I love. Let me see. Let me see if I can link the chipboard. I think I can. I just got it. Here it is. 100 chipboard sheets, 8.5 by 11, 50-point heavy weight craft cardboard for scrapbooking and picture frame backing. Here's a chipboard. I'm going to use my Turbo Tacky glue. And until I figure something a little bit quicker, I'm going to do this right here first. I want it to be nice and straight with the other one. So I'm going to glue this one first, draw a line straight across, then I'll add the other pieces. Again, this just skips a couple of steps for me, and I'm honestly excited about it. Because just sanding down the covers kind of takes a lot out of your hand. I have never purchased chipboard before. I have honestly always used cereal box. I've always used cereal boxes, but I literally ran out of cereal boxes. I have no more cereal boxes. And I want to keep making journals, so that is why I turned to this alternative. And I'm hoping this will cut down on some time. It already has. Okay, so I got glue on one side. Got stuff everywhere. I have stuff everywhere. Glue side down. I'm going to put it right where I wanted it to be. Because if I don't do this, then I'll forget where I want it to be. And I'll put it somewhere wrong. Just want to add some pressure here. My glue is pretty good about drying pretty quickly. You just got to make sure everything makes kind of some contact here. Okay. Wow, that was a lot of steps cut. Okay, so let's see where this one is here. That's where we want to put the other side too. Let me get my pencil. Put it here. Okay. Just so I have a guide of where I want this to go. Okay. So what I need now is I have kept this from a book cover. It could be any old book. It really doesn't have to be this specific book. Whatever thickness you think you like. It's nice and thick. It's not a 1/4 inch. It's like, I don't even know what measurement this is. But grab whatever nice thick book cover you may have. You put it up against the first chipboard cover. And that's where your gutter is going to go. Well, you know, the little spot between the cover and the spine. And we can add glue to the spine. Okay, Miss Vanessa, you have yourself a good night. Okay. Glue here, glue. Okay. Now I'm going to put the spine right here. I got my measurements there that I don't want to go on. Before drawing it out like this, it was kind of hard for me to visualize where it was supposed to go. But now I have a little bit less fear of making a mistake because everything's literally like pre-measured out for me. Without me having to actually measure anything because I hate measurements, guys. I really do. I really hate to measure. So now I've got my cover here that I use. Put it up against the spine. And I make a line. And that's where my other spine is going to go. Okay? So we're kind of like carving ourselves out here, slow space. I use a little towel here. You can use that to kind of take off we'll kind of dry out the glue because the glue kind of stays on here. But if you just wipe off the wet areas here, then I don't get glue where it's not supposed to be. Okay. Yeah, I hate measuring. I'm not good at telling you what measurement something is. I'm terrible. I am the worst at it. And sometimes I measure it, and I'm wrong anyways. Sometimes I have all good intentions to measure, and I still somehow end up getting the wrong size somehow anyways. Like, it happens to me all the time. It happened to me with these covers. I measured it, and then it was like, oh, wow, that's not the size it's supposed to be. It happens. I'm the worst. Okay. I got my short piece here. Ready? And technically, these are even thicker than 2 pieces of cereal box. So I Googled, what is the thickness? Hi, Ms. Zena. I Googled, what is the thickness of cereal boxes? And it said 20 point. I think is that what they measured? No. 20 point. That's how it's measured. The weight of the thickness. 20. It said cereal boxes are 20 point thickness. You know what I do need is, and so when I looked up chipboard on Amazon, these were my choices. Either, I think the only choice over 20 was this 50 that I have here. Really, Daisy? I don't know what I did with my butter knife. I have this little one. the most pathetic butter knife ever. But I'm going to press down on the cover here. So that gets nice and adhered. So it gets to be nice and flat. And so, you know what? This is such a piece of cake, you guys. I skipped so many steps that would hurt my hand. I need a spatula. This is a butter knife situation. Spatula. Normally, the cereal box would want to curl. This is not wanting to curl. So I'm like, wow. Just wow. Now let me cut off the excess. I'm making it slightly bigger than 1/2 inch. I could have made them exactly the size, but honestly, I don't trust myself, and I always give myself room for error. So I always measure and make things way too big than what I actually need, and then I kind of feel a little bit secure in the fact that I can make a mistake, and it won't end my whole project. So I believe in starting bigger and then kind of like whittling it down. Because you can take away very easily, but you can't add, you know what I mean? Like, so that's why I make things a little bit more difficult. I'm making it slightly bigger than 1/2 inch all the way around. Days I finished my journal, you know. Yes, I saw. Unless I missed it, but I think I did see it. I have not been on Facebook today. Okay. So here's our cover. And this right here doesn't, it kind of feels a little bit weak right now. But in the end, it won't. So now, get my piece of tissue again, like I said. Now we gotta glue this all down all the way around, right? To make it like a book. Right. Okay. Nope, butter knife. You're doing Christmas too, Miss Jen? Okay, so what we have to do here, a couple of things. I gotta mark a little triangle right here where the little gutters are. We're not reaching up to the point, but we are going just below it. And then what we're gonna do is the edges here, we're gonna fold over so that we can see a little line here of where we need to cut. But I cut just above that line. We'll do that in a moment. But I do like to do this part first before I glue it down. I didn't used to, and now it's better, so I try and implement this here. So right here, I use these little tiny scissors. So I can make this cut right here. And this cut right here reduces bulk right here in this corner. Because on the inside cover, I'm going to cover this with this type of material as well. So it creates a little bit of bulk here. So I've learned to cut out these little V shapes, triangle shapes. Okay. If you have a little moment, give me a little thumbs up, you guys. Thank you guys so much. Oh my goodness. Sorry, I tried to give my husband ice cream and he didn't want it. Like, what? Is that Maria? You guys, Tillamook has really good ice cream. It's actually custard. Okay, so now I've got my scissors, my regular scissors, and I'm going to cut this right here, but I'm going to cut it just beyond the little line that I made there. Little fold. Just slightly beyond that. Okay, we're all set on all sides now. Now I like to do the long sides first, as in glue them and fold them in. Got some glue here. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold it over and I push down with my thumbs here. Push down, push down, push down. The middle part. Okay. Now that that's there, I'm going to use my little butter knife. I'm just going to make sure we make nice contact. Sometimes glue comes out. That's fine. And we actually have to be pretty careful with this cover because you have glue all over here. If you want a nice professional cover, you try not to get glue on it. So beware of that. Okay, just beware of that. That's why you always see me kind of rubbing the glue off here like that. It's not gone, but now it's not going to get on my cover. And that's important to me. Okay, so now we got this side over here. Oh my god, this is like, I'm tripping out because I'm saving so much time with this chipboard being this size and this weight. I'm like amazed. That will definitely speed up my process of making journals. Yay. Girl, I ain't trying to think about Christmas. Oh man, I mean, I used to be the same way, but I literally could never make any Christmas journals. I'd get my Christmas journals done by like New Year's Day. So I'm trying to stock up my shop before Christmas. That's the idea. Okay, I'm getting the fabric. I'm pushing it down. I'm pushing it down. Careful not to get glue on your fingers. And pushing it down, pushing it down, pushing it down. Starting to look like a book, y'all. It's starting to look like a book. How cute is that? I freaking love it. It's so cute. Okay. Okay, now it's time to do these. Now, the right here, it's a little important. I say it's important, but if you're not, then I use book corners. Okay, so I try and tuck in my little corners, my little edges here, this certain way, just because I like the look of it. And then the other day I realized, like, I put book corners, so nobody's ever going to see. Nobody's ever going to see that, but it still makes me feel better. You could just fold this over, but what I like to do is I like to poke this little edge, this little corner in. Same as over here, just poke the little tiny, pinch the little corner like right there. And then fold it over. And what that does is it creates a tiny little, almost like rounded corner, as compared to if I didn't pinch and it came to a straight like corner. I don't like the look of that for whatever reason. Don't ask me why. I just I like the look of this like little rounded corner that you get if you pinch this tiny little edge right there. But like I said, and then honestly, I end up putting book corners on there, so you can't even see it in the end. But if you don't put book corners on yours, that could be a helpful little tip. It's a very professional tip. Thank you, Miss Patricia. Thank you. Okay, so now let's get this side over here. So I always try to make sure I get like a little bit of glue in that little corner, because I know what I'm going to end up doing. Oops, see, I almost didn't do it. You got to pinch the corner right there. Just with the, literally just the length of whatever nail you want to use to pinch that little corner there. Oops. There we go. We are good. And that is that cover, you guys. I love it already. This is such a cute, this is going to be so cute. I love it. So Christmassy, right? Let's do one more. I could possibly get one more done. It's not a quick process. It is fun though. But let me go ahead and get another one done. And actually, I need to cut the chipboard because I only cut that one cover. Okay. Do this and do this. I got my precision cutter here. I love this thing too. It was not cheap, but it was worth it. I think I bought it. I can't remember where I bought it, but it was only like $80. But I've seen it online as much as like $100 and something. It'll keep cardboard from showing if you don't put the metal borders. I'll never see the cardboard show. Hi, Miss Rain Girl. The trick with this is you want to have the blade on this side instead of the other side. That's the trick. And then I'm going to cut this down in half. So 5.5. That's what I need to cut this down to. So this is an 8.5 by 11 sheet, which is why I bought this size. Because once I cut it in half, that's the size of the covers that I want. So this is 8.5 by 5.5. 8.5 by 5.5. And then the spine is 2.5. I want my spine out. I'm so happy. Honestly, I cannot tell you how happy I was when I pulled this out and it cut out this chipboard. You guys, I was shooketh. Okay, so that's the spine for the next one. And let me get to it. Let me put this somewhere else. I just put it on the floor. My office is a mess right now. It's just a mess. Okay, here we go again. We got the cover. Is this the one that's going to be tight? So some I made bigger than I needed to, and I just help, like I said, helps my little insecurities that I'll make a mistake. However, I think this is as much as I would want around anyways. Measured it. Yeah, we should be good. We should be good. Okay. So this is where I want them to sit here on this cover here. Okay, so this is, okay, so I'm going to mark out where I want my first cover to be. Oops, that was a little bit too low. Again, I'm working one piece at a time here. So let's get some glue on this cover here. Christmas in June, too early for me. I know, but you know what? So anything to distract me from the 110 degrees that it is outside right now, it's great. I'm just going to pretend it's winter. I'm going to pretend I'm in a sweater and I'm, just like chilling in my little sweater. I'm ready, y'all. I'm trying to make some money, so I got to get this stuff ready soon. So, and I take forever too, so I can never, ever get any journals done in time for Christmas. So I figured if I start in January, like I said, I never actually even stopped making Christmas stuff. The New Year came and I went straight back into Christmas stuff. I was still in the Christmas mood. Okay, so I'm going to glue my cover down here where I said I was going to. That helps me not make a mistake. Like I've said before, it just really helps me not make a mistake. And on the other side here, I'm going to go over it with my little butter knife. Make sure it gets nice and stuck to it. Okay. This is great. Like I said, normally my cereal box chipboard would kind of bend and warp a little bit. This is not bending or warping at all. It is straight. Straight as an arrow. And that's wonderful. That is wonderful. I'm still pushing the corner fabric in a bit before gluing that down. She's got it. She's got the right idea. And now what I want to do is mark where I'm going to put the rest of the covers here. So mark in here. And I mark in here. It's just a guide. And next, again, make sure you keep a piece of book cover because you'll need it. This is just a piece of a random book cover. And I just like the thickness of it. It's not too thick, not too thin. And I like to use this as my gutter size, whatever this thing is called. The space between the cover and the spine. Basically right there, that's the little space I'm going to leave in between. And I've just kept using that. It works, and so I just keep using it. Okay, now, so let's get the glue on the spine here. Miss Beverly, have a good night, girlfriend. This is definitely a late night craft hour show. I try and go live early, but y'all, I'm telling you, I cannot get my life together before noon usually. I try sometimes, and I really try. Okay, so we're getting glue on our spine now. Make sure I'm in view here on the camera. Hope the Christmas journal making is making Daisy feel cooler. Yeah, hopefully. Hopefully, looking at these little snowflakes. Oh, it did rain the other day, and they said it's going to rain again, so I'm excited for that. I am excited for a little bit of rain. It's a drizzle. It never rains the whole day or anything. That would be nice, but that just doesn't happen around here. Okay. So here is my spine. That's the second thing I've knocked off my table. And I'm just going to set this here and here and here and here. And here. And I'm just eyeballing it. Just again, making sure we're on the same side here. Get the glue off of here. Yes, they said it's coming. They said it's coming. Just kind of making sure my spine makes good adhesion here. No pressure is good. Oh my God, I'm in love with this chipboard so far. Oh, this is great. This is great. Okay. Now we have to the other gutter. Right there. Again, this keeps me from having to measure. And I still get a pretty good result. And I don't have to measure nothing. Let's do this right here. Nice amount of glue here. So excited to go to Ensenada this weekend. I'm gonna get 75 degrees. I'm excited to feel 75 degrees again. That, you know what? That is actually like my favorite temperature. I might have to move to Ensenada, you guys, because it's like 75 degrees to 80 degrees. I looked up the temperature there. 75 to 80, that's like my dreamland. That's what I want to live in. So I might have to move to Ensenada. Okay, so let's go over here. Okay. Let's see the ocean. I think there's ocean in Ensenada, right? Miss Betty from Junk Journal, etc. calls the gutter the ease. The ease? Never heard of such a thing. Never in my life. I always heard it called. It's either gutter or gusset. Which one did I hear? See, it's either gutter or gusset. Let me see. Now I need to know. What is a gusset? Oh, that has to do with a garment. That has nothing to do with junk journaling at all. That is. What is a book gutter? The inner margins of the leaves of a bound book. Adjacent inner margins of facing pages when book is open. Oh, okay. That's not even what it's called. It's not even called a gutter either. have to look up what it's actually called. I keep calling it a gutter, but I don't think that's right now. No, I don't know. No, I'm not so sure. Okay, I'm going to cut it slightly bigger than 1/2 inch all the way around. Cutting out the excess. 2.5 inch. No. A little bit more than 1/2 inch. Literally a sliver more than 1/2 inch. And I love this ruler. It really helps out measure things out. Do I still make mistakes? Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Always. Okay. So now that that's all done, what I need to do, draw a little V here for this little spot right here where it kind of gets a little bit too chunky. If I include this here and then the inside cover is also going to be this material, it just gets a little crowded in this area here. And then I'm going to fold the corners in. I do try and do it at a nice straight, like 90-degree angle right here. Do that on all of these right here. Okay. So now we're going to cut out these little triangles. I know you got a cutter for chipboard paper, but not sure which would be best. I recommend the Fiskars Precision paper cutter, rotary paper cutter. I love it. You cut this chipboard, and this is pretty thick. So definitely get yourself, if you're gonna get something of good quality. Now, I've had mine for several years. For at least 3 years, I've had my rotary cutter. And they have a really good warranty policy. I think it's lifetime warranty or something like that. And Sonata is so pretty. I don't know if I've ever been there. I can't remember if I've been to Sonata. I mean, it's basically California. Let's see. Let me look this up here. Fiskars Precision Rotary Trimmer. That's what it's called. Fiskars Precision Rotary Trimmer. Let me get you the link for it. Because now from the looks of it, there's a lot of different ones. Why it's not looking for the right one, I don't know. Where is it? Why are you not looking for it? Fiskars Precision Rotary. There it is, but it's not being sold. Why is it not being sold? That's weird. I don't see it on Amazon. Like, I see it, but I don't see it for sale. So I'm just like, what's happening? Maybe they sold out. I don't know. But I do recommend this one right here. If you can find it. That's what at least it's called. I know they have it at all the craft stores. They have it at Michael's and they have it at Joann's. I know they do. So again, right here, where I made the little mark, I'm going to cut it just beyond that. Just beyond. Before I used to do this part right here where I used to fold it, I used to just try and eyeball it. That does not work for me. So I need to see it. That's why I made that little mark there. now that I have it all cut out, you see the little triangles here that I cut out. I cut out this the little edges. So now what we're gonna do is we need some glue. I'm still using the same paper towel here. It's all crusty, but that kind of helps too. Just trying to dry this glue off here. Okay. So I need to get the glue on the long edge first. That's the one I'm going to do first. Let's get our nice little amount of glue here. I really love silicone brushes to use with glue. They are the best. I do suggest you get one. For this project specifically, it's wonderful. So we get some glue on here. Then we're going to push the fabric down, the fabric paper, whatever you want to call it. And I do try and push it down with my thumbs here. So it's nice and tight up against the chipboard here. Okay. I stand corrected. It does warp slightly though. Like, oh my goodness, this is only like 10% of what the other chipboard would have warped by. So this is good. Once I put the inner layer of fabric, it's not an issue anymore. But I did want to note that it did warp a tiny, tiny bit. Okay, so now let's do this side here. Okay. Let's push this down here, push it down. Again, the glue I'm using is Turbo Tacky glue. This is my favorite glue for pretty much everything, from making embellishments to making the cover, making the inside cover, gluing the inside cover too, gluing all my embellishments to my page. It's like my pretty much one-stop go for glue, and I love it. Let me get my little butter knife here to make sure, again, this makes some adhesion, nice good contact. Okay. Okay, so now we're going to do this side here, the shorter side. Get some glue here in this little corner. Here too. Okay, before I fold this side down again, I'm going to pinch the little corner right here. Just the edge of it. I'm going to pinch inwards. Same over here. Just going to use a tiny little pinch, and then I'll turn the fabric around. This one looks adorable. I love it. I love it. The Christmassiness of it. Okay. Okay. So after these two, I only have 4 more to go. Woohoo! Only 4 more to go. Okay, I finally get what you are doing on the corners. It's very hard to explain. I kind of like just dig my nail in just a little bit. You see that corner's like that right there? And then when I pinch it is when I just put my nail on it and I kind of dig into it so the glue kind of sticks right there. I do the same over here. Just so the glue sticks right there. Sometimes it'll pop back out. You gotta put it back in as you turn it. And like I said, it just gives you these nice rounded edges instead of like the sharp corner. And does that part really matter? No, it's just a little thing I like to do. Like I said, I cover mine up with metal corners anyway, so you can't even see that, but it makes me feel better. So that's what I'm going to do. So that is it for me here tonight, you guys. I still have 4 more of these to do. And then we'll get started on decorating them or getting the signatures in them next week. I don't know if I'm going to, I don't know if I'm going to go live on Monday because I think that's the time we're going to come back. I don't know when we're going to come back. This whole trip is on my parents. It's their car, so whenever they say we come back, we come back. So thank you guys so much for joining me here on tonight's live, where I pretty much showed you my little technique here for how to make my junk journal covers. And I was testing out also this new chipboard that I got from Amazon. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me tonight, and I will see y'all next week. I hope everybody has a good weekend. And yeah, we'll reconvene again on Monday, perhaps Tuesday. I don't know which one. One of those 2 days, I'll be back. So come hang out with me then. And thank you guys so much for hanging out with me tonight. Bye.